The storm outside was violent. Lightning flashed across the alien sky and sharp winds howled like angry spirits. Commander Ryland's ship shook again as it hit the frozen surface of an unknown moon. He gritted his teeth and fought the controls. But the crash was too hard to stop. Boom! The ship slammed into the ground. Metal screeched. Lights went out. Everything went silent. For a long moment, Ryland didn't move. Then slowly, he opened his eyes. His head hurt. His arms were bleeding. But he was alive. He stood up in the dark, trying to get power back. "Come on," he whispered, pressing buttons. The ship's systems were fried. No signals, no fuel, no help. He was completely alone. Ryland grabbed his survival pack and stepped outside. Cold air bit into his skin through the suit. He looked around. The moon was strange. Dead trees stood like bones. The sky glowed red. Nothing looked alive. "I have to find shelter," he said to himself. He walked for hours through the storm. His boots crunched on the cracked ice. Strange whispers floated in the wind, like someone calling his name. At first he thought he was just tired. But then it happened again. "Please, come inside, Inhuman." Ryland stopped. His heart raced. "Who's there?" he shouted. Only the wind replied. Suddenly he saw it. A glowing crack in the ice, deep in the distance. Light shimmered like it was calling him. Without thinking, Ryland walked toward it. The crack led to a cave, strange and glowing. The walls pulsed like a heartbeat. It felt warm inside. Too warm. As he stepped in, the voice came again. "Clear this. Time. Please. Come inside of me, human." Ryland froze. It wasn't a radio signal. It wasn't human at all. The voice was soft, female, and sad. He stepped deeper inside. The walls were alive, covered in soft, glowing vines. At the center of the cave, he saw her. A girl. She was not human. Her skin was smooth and silver blue, glowing slightly in the dark. Long strands of white hair floated around her as if she were underwater. Her eyes, large and bright, watched him with pain and hope. She was trapped. Half her body was merged into the wall behind her. Energy cords wrapped around her arms and waist. She looked weak. "You're real," Ryland whispered. The girl nodded slowly. Her voice entered his mind without sound. "Yes. You heard me. You're the first in 100 years." Ryland stepped closer. "Who are you? What happened to you?" She looked down, her expression full of sadness. "I was the heart of this moon. I was part of something great, but they left me here. I am incomplete. I cannot survive much longer." He looked around the strange cave. "This place is alive. It is me," she said. "This moon, this cave, is part of me, and I need you. Please, come closer." Ryland hesitated. "What do you mean you need me?" She looked into his eyes. "Only a human can finish the connection. I need your presence, your energy, your bond. Please come inside of me or I die with the core." Ryland stepped back. "Wait, is this a trap?" "No," she said softly. "I don't want to hurt you. I just want to live." A deep humming sound began from the walls. The cave was shaking. "Time is short," she warned. "The core is breaking. If you don't connect, everything will die, even you." Ryland looked into her glowing eyes. Something in him shifted. He saw not a monster, but a prisoner. Lonely. Forgotten. Begging for one last chance. "Okay," he said slowly. "I'll help you. Just tell me what to do." She smiled, weakly. "Just step forward. Place your hand on mine. And trust me." He walked closer, heart beating fast. As he placed his hand on hers, the cave pulsed brightly. Energy shot through his arm. Visions filled his mind. Her past, her pain, her isolation, her hope. Then, crash. The entrance slammed shut behind him. He turned, shocked. "What the?" she whispered. "You're inside now." You can't leave until it's done. And deep inside the cave, something else had just awakened. Ryland stood still. His hand was still on hers. The cave had sealed itself. No way out. His breath came fast. The air around him hummed like a machine waking from sleep. The alien girl's glow grew brighter. Her silver blue skin shimmered. But her eyes, those large, sad eyes, looked directly into his soul. You said I can't leave, Ryland said. Why? She didn't answer, right away. Instead, she let out a long breath, like she hadn't breathed in years. Then, she spoke into his mind again. Because now, you are part of the core. He pulled his hand away. What do you mean, part of the core? I didn't agree to. That. You did, she replied calmly. The moment you touched me, that was the bond. It has started. Ryland's heart pounded harder. The walls were glowing brighter. The floor pulsed beneath his boots. I don't even know your name, he snapped. She blinked slowly. I was once called Aelin. I was created to be a core maiden, a living brain for this moon, a weapon in war. But I was too soft, too curious. So, they left me. Ryland stared at her, trying to understand. You're the planet? No, she corrected gently. I became the planet. My body was fused, with its energy core. My mind was stretched across tunnels, vents, stones, and sky. But without a proper bond, the system breaks. And now it's dying. He looked around again. And I'm the missing piece? She nodded. Only humans carry the right signal. Only your kind can bond with the old system. It was made from your DNA. You're the key. Ryland laughed, bitter and confused. Great. So, I crash here by accident, and now I'm a power battery for a living moon. But Aelin took a slow step forward. Her body glowed with a soft warmth. Not a battery, she said softly. A partner. You have a choice. If you choose to fully bond, I will live, the moon will live, you will become something greater. But if you reject me, the core will collapse, and we both die. Ryland didn't speak. His mind raced. He remembered Earth Command, the warnings. Strange cores are dangerous, avoid them, do not interact. But Aelin didn't seem dangerous. She seemed alone. And then a question slipped out of him. What does bonding mean? She stepped closer, stopping just a breath away. He could feel her heat. It means letting me inside your mind. It means trust. Sharing thoughts, emotions, purpose. It is not control. It is union. Ryland looked at her. He saw how tired she was. Her body glowed, but her energy flickered like a candle in wind. Then the floor shook again. The ceiling above cracked. Rocks fell. Aelin gasped and held her side. She was weakening. The core's breaking, she whispered. I can't hold it much longer, please. Let me in. Ryland hesitated only a second. Then he stepped forward again. He took her hands in his. Okay, he said quietly. Let's do it. I'll bond with you. Her eyes filled with light. Thank you. Human. The moment his hands touched hers fully, the world exploded in light. Ryland's mind flew into a storm. Images, emotions, memories, everything at once. He saw Aelin's childhood, her creators, the cold labs, the moment they fused her into the moon's core, her screams, her loneliness, her hope. Then, he felt her inside his mind, not forcing, just being, sharing, and then something else. Something deeper in the moon, a cold presence. Watching them, waiting. Aelin, he whispered, eyes wide. We're not alone. She trembled. You feel it too. Far beneath the core, something old stirred. They didn't just leave me, she said. They locked something inside here, something worse. I was the lock, but now the lock is opening. Ryland's blood ran cold. What have I done? He whispered. Aylin didn't answer, but her grip on his hands tightened. "Stay with me," she whispered back. "Together, we might survive it." Ryland couldn't breathe. His heart raced as fire ran through his veins. His skin burned like he had stepped into the sun. The cave around him wasn't just glowing anymore. It was alive. Alive and pulsing with heat, light, and sound. He was still holding Aylin's hands, but now it felt like they were connected, through every cell of their bodies. His mind wasn't just his own anymore. It echoed with her voice, her heartbeat, her pain, and something else. Something darker. "Aylin," he gasped. "It's too hot. What's happening to me?" Aylin was glowing fiercely now. Her hair floated, her body trembled, and her silver-blue skin shimmered with red veins of energy. "The bond is deepening," she whispered inside his thoughts. "The core is accepting you." "I feel like I'm melting," Ryland shouted. "You're changing," she said. "Your body is syncing with mine. It's the only way the fusion can work. But the core is unstable. I can't control the heat." He dropped to his knees, eyes wide. Visions danced in front of him, flashes of an alien war, crumbling starships, screaming scientists, and the moment Aylin was forced into the moon's heart. Her fear, her anger, her loneliness, and then something different. A black shape. A shadow locked beneath the surface. A voice, cold and inhuman, whispering from the depths. New host detected, entry possible. Opening pathways. Ryland shook his head. No, what is that?" Aylin's face changed. She looked scared. "It's waking up," she said. "The thing they trapped here, I was supposed to contain it forever. But bonding with you, it's breaking my limits." Ryland stood up, staggering. "Then stop the bond." "I can't," she cried. "It's too late." The walls of the cave cracked. Steam exploded from the ceiling. The floor turned red hot. Glowing alien symbols lit up across the surface like warnings. And then, something screamed from below. A horrible, deep, ancient scream, not from a throat but from the planet itself. Ryland grabbed Aylin. "What the hell did they lock down there?" She looked at him with wide, glowing eyes. It was called Vorka, a mind-eater, a creature made of thought. It destroyed entire colonies just by entering their minds. So they sealed it inside this moon. They used me to hold it down. And now it's using me to escape, Ryland realized. He stepped back from her. "Unlink me, now!" Aylin stepped forward, voice shaking. "If I unlink, the core fails. The moon explodes. We both die. If I keep the bond, Vorka might take us." "Great choices," Ryland muttered. But then, Aylin placed her hand on his chest. "There is one way," she whispered. "We can go deeper, into the core's center, face Vorka before it reaches the surface. You want us to go to it?" "Yes. While it's still weak, before it touches your mind completely." Ryland looked into her glowing face. She was trembling, not just with fear, but with something else. Hope. Trust. "You said the fusion would make us one," he said slowly. "Yes," she answered. "If we survive, we'll be changed forever." He took a deep breath. "All right, let's go to the heart." She smiled, and the cave opened beneath them. A glowing spiral tunnel appeared. Heat rushed upward like breath from a furnace. Ryland followed Aylin down, the light around them growing stronger. The walls pulsed like living skin. Every step burned his feet. But he didn't stop. Finally, they reached the heart chamber. It was huge. Floating in the center was a black sphere, smooth, silent, and cold. No light came from it, but it sucked the light from around it. Ryland felt it in his head. Something looking at him. Something tasting his thoughts. "That's it," Aylin whispered. "That's Vorka." Then the voice came again, this time, inside both of them. "I see you, human. You opened the gate. You brought me warmth. Now, let me inside." Ryland clutched his head. Pain surged. but Aelin stepped in front of him. "No!" she shouted. Her body glowed brighter. "He is mine! You cannot have him!" The black sphere cracked. Vorka was rising, and Rylan knew, if they didn't act now, the creature would escape. The black sphere pulsed. Cracks spread like lightning across its surface. The heart of the moon, once quiet, was now screaming with ancient voices. Not loud, not with sound, but inside Rylan's mind. He dropped to one knee, gripping his skull. "Get out. Get out of my head." Aelin stood in front of him, her arms wide, her body glowing like a star. Her voice, both soft and full of fury, rang through the chamber. "You will not take him, Vorka." But the voice that answered didn't speak. It invaded. Thoughts poured into Rylan's brain, not his own. Memories that weren't his. Emotions that didn't belong. He saw war. Endless war. Alien worlds consumed by invisible shadows. Civilizations that fell without a weapon fired. Vorka didn't kill with hands, it erased minds. He saw Aelin's creators. Brilliant and cruel. The scientists who built her. Who merged her with the moon's core. She had been a child when they chose her. A child turned into a living. Rylan gasped as a new memory slammed into him, a file deep within the core. Hidden even from Aelin. He saw her screaming as they pushed her into the fusion pod. Her arms reached out, but no one helped her. They sealed her fate and walked away. "They used her," Rylan whispered. "They made her the key. And the prison." Aelin turned to him. "You saw it?" Rylan nodded. "I saw everything. You weren't meant to survive, just to hold him here." She blinked, tears forming in her glowing eyes. "I waited, hoping someone would come, someone would hear me." Another crack exploded across the chamber. Vorka's black shell started, leaking darkness, thick, shapeless fog that slithered like a living shadow. "The lock is weak." Vorka echoed in their minds. "The key is breaking, and now the human holds the door open." Rylan stood up, jaw clenched. "You want my mind, but you're not getting in." The shadow hissed. A tendril of darkness shot toward him, but Aelin blocked it with a flash of light from her chest. "Stay behind me," she said. "No," Rylan said firmly. "We go together." He took her hand. And something changed. The light inside Aelin surged. Rylan's body glowed too, human and alien, bound by a living link. The bond was no longer one-sided. It was full. The ground shook beneath them. "The core responded. And then, a memory not from Vorka but from the moon itself rose around them. Suddenly they weren't in the heart chamber anymore. They stood in a huge, shining city. Alien towers touched the clouds. Beings of light walked peacefully through glowing streets. "This was the moon, before the war," Aelin said softly. Rylan turned slowly. It was beautiful. Then fire fell from the sky. Ships attacked. Cities burned. The glowing people screamed. And in the middle of it all, a shape fell from space. A swirling black cloud that turned everything silent. Vorka. The vision changed. They were in a lab now. Scientists rushed around. A smaller Aelin, barely grown, stood inside a glass tube. "We need a living core," one shouted. "She has the right brain type," another said. Then, "Seal her in. The moon must survive." The younger Aelin screamed as the pod closed. Her voice was so real it hurt. Back in the present, Rylan opened his eyes with fury. "They betrayed you. They gave up your life." Aelin lowered her head. "They said I would be a hero. But I was just their tool." The ground roared. The vision ended. They were back in the heart chamber. Vorka had grown. The black cracks now spilled endless shadows. "You've seen the truth," the voice said. "Join me, human. I will show you more endless power, endless memory." Rylan laughed. "I've seen enough." He turned to Aelin. "If your body was the prison, maybe mine can be the shield." She blinked. "You would do that? I won't let you be alone again." He stepped forward, pulling her close. "Let's finish the bond. Complete it. If we fuse fully, Maybe we can push Vorka back. Elin looked into his eyes. If we do this, Rylan, we won't be the same. He smiled. Maybe that's a good thing. Together, they placed their hands on the glowing core crystal. Light exploded from within. Vorka screamed. The explosion of light was blinding. Rylan and Elin floated in the core chamber, their hands still pressed against the crystal. Their bond now complete, their energies fused. The glow from their bodies pushed back the darkness, but only for a moment. The black fog of Vorka screamed as it twisted and pulled away, trying to hide in the cracks. But it wasn't gone. It was watching, waiting, and learning. Rylan could feel it. He's adapting, Elin whispered. He knows we're trying to seal him again. Before Rylan could speak, a loud alarm echoed inside the chamber. A strange chime. Not from Vorka, not from Elin, it was from space. What is that? Rylan asked, turning toward the sound. Elin's eyes widened. Ships, alien ships, entering orbit. High above the moon, in the cold vacuum of space, 6 massive battleships dropped from warp. Black as night, covered in old war symbols Rylan had seen in Elin's memory. The creators, the scientists, the ones who locked her away. Their ships hovered, scanning the moon. They're here to destroy this place, Rylan said. A failsafe. Elin nodded, her voice shaking. They know Vorka is waking. If they can't contain it, they'll kill it, and us with it. On the main screen of their old satellite grid, a message appeared in red alien letters. Initiate. Protocol 7, full planetary destruction. 7 minutes, Elin whispered. That's all we have before the moon is wiped out. Rylan clenched his fists. We don't have time to run, we don't have weapons, what can we do? Elin looked toward the heart crystal. There's one way. She walked toward the fusion link, her glow flickering. We finished the seal, manually, from inside. Rylan stepped back. What do you mean inside? We enter the memory core, the true center of the moon. It's not just a crystal. It's alive, Rylan, it's a mind. If we enter it together, we might seal Vorka before the outside ships fire. But? He asked. She looked at him sadly. If we do this, there's no going back. Our bodies won't survive the energy, but our minds might live on inside the moon. Are you saying we'll become part of the planet? She nodded. 2 minds. 1 core. A new beginning. But only if we act now. Rylan looked at the timer. 6:09. 6:08. His heart beat hard. No more choices. No more time. He stepped beside Elin and took her hand. Let's save your world. She smiled. They both placed their hands on the center again. The core opened like a blooming flower, revealing a deep white tunnel of light. They stepped in together. Inside the memory core, there was no ground. No walls. Just light, emotion, and time. Memories swirled like wind. Rylan saw flashes of Elin's thoughts, and she saw his childhood, his first space mission, his pain, his dreams. Then, Vorka appeared in front of them, no longer hiding. It had grown larger, a black mass with no shape, full of writhing memories and stolen thoughts. You dare challenge me here? The voice echoed across the void. I am the storm of minds, the eater of memory. You are nothing but sparks. Rylan stepped forward, standing firm. We're not sparks. We are fire. He raised his hand, and the bond inside him lit up. Elin joined him. Their thoughts merged fully. They no longer needed words. Together they launched a wave of light straight at Vorka. The shadow screamed, twisting, fighting, lashing out. Dark tendrils wrapped around them, pulling at their minds. Memories tried to break apart. But Rylan held, and Elin whispered inside his soul, Don't let go. Please, just stay with me. Always, he answered. With one final push, they poured everything, every thought, every emotion, every dream, into the core. And Vorka, shattered, The darkness broke apart like smoke in the wind. Gone. High above the moon, the countdown reached 004, 003. Suddenly, the core's energy spiked. A signal blasted from the moon, pure, golden light. The battleship stopped. Scanners flashed. Warnings changed. New core entity detected. Bond human alien. Status stable. The ships turned. They left. The moon had changed. Deep inside, Rylan opened his eyes. He was no longer human. Aelin was no longer just the core. They were something new, and they were alive. Silence. Not empty silence, peaceful silence. For the first time in centuries, the moon stopped shaking. The caves calmed. The walls no longer pulsed with pain or fear. The core, once unstable and crying for help, now glowed with a soft golden light. And in the center of it all, Rylan opened his eyes. He was no longer just a man. His body floated inside, a glowing chamber, no longer flesh and bone alone, but something more. Energy flowed through his veins like light in cables. His senses stretched beyond his body. He could feel the air in the caves, the movements of small creatures above. Even the hum of the alien ships far in orbit, but more than that, he could feel her. Aelin, he whispered. She appeared beside him, not walking, but forming. Her silver-blue glow warmer than ever before. Her long hair danced like waves in space, but her eyes held a deep sadness behind the beauty. You stayed, she said softly. You gave everything. Rylan looked down at his hands. What are we now? We are the core, she said. You are no longer outside it. You are within me, within this world. We're joined. But something's still wrong, isn't it? Aelin nodded slowly. Yes. Vorka is gone, but the seal is not fully closed. The breach must be repaired from the inside of the seal. That final part requires a pure energy sacrifice. One of us must fade completely. Rylan stepped back, shaking his head. No, you've suffered too much already. But Aelin's glow flickered. She was weakening. You're stronger now, she whispered. You are part of the world. You can keep it alive. I was only meant to guard it for a time, but I was never meant to be forever. I won't let you die, Rylan said. She smiled gently. I am not dying. I am giving you the future. She raised her hand, and from the glowing walls the seal began to form, huge golden rings circling inward. But one piece was missing, the center key. Someone must become the key, she said. It requires a soul, a final spark. Rylan took a breath. I'll do it, he said firmly. She looked at him, eyes wide. What? I can't let you go, and you've already given everything. Let me finish it. Let me be the lock. Aelin stepped forward, desperate. But if you do that, you won't exist anymore, not even here. Rylan touched her face gently. Then carry my memory. Keep it alive. That's enough. Tears fell from her glowing eyes, pure light, dripping like stars. You were supposed to just be a visitor, she whispered. But you became my reason to live. And you became the best thing I ever found in the dark, Rylan said. The seal glowed. Ready, Rylan stepped toward it, but Aelin grabbed his hand. Together, she said. He looked at her. You said it needed only one. Then we'll become one. Forever. As the final key. Rylan nodded. Together they stepped into the seal. Light surrounded them. Their forms broke apart, not into death, but into something higher. Thought, memory, love, all turned into energy. The core sealed, the moon pulsed, stable, alive, and then, quiet. Years later, a young explorer landed on the now peaceful moon. Her scanners picked up strong life readings from the core, but no threats. Just warmth. Just peace. She stepped into the glowing caves and felt something strange. A voice, not spoken but felt. Please come inside. You are welcome here. The explorer paused and smiled. The explorer stood still. Her boots sank into the soft glowing floor as golden light danced across the walls. She had traveled across 20 star systems, chased myths and followed broken signals, just to reach this silent ancient moon. But what she felt here wasn't silence. It was a heartbeat. Soft, steady, alive. She stepped deeper into the cave, her scanner buzzing quietly. There were no creatures, no ruins, no enemies. Just one repeating signal. Core status, stable, entity, unknown, access, welcome. She touched the wall. It felt warm, like skin. And then a voice entered her thoughts. Calm, familiar, human, but also something else. Welcome, traveler, the explorer gasped. Who's there? The wall pulsed gently and the cave lit up. Two glowing figures appeared in front of her, formed from light and memory. A man and a woman. The man looked strong and calm, eyes sharp with a soldier's focus. The woman floated beside him, elegant, silver blue, eyes glowing with soft light. They stood hand in hand. We are the core, the man said. We were once Rylan and Aylin. Now we are one. The explorer stepped back. You're alive? Not in the old way, Aylin said with a smile. Our bodies are gone, but our minds became the heart of this world. We chose it. The explorer blinked. Why? Rylan stepped forward, his voice full of peace. To stop a monster, to save this moon. And to stay together, Aylin added. Our bond was stronger than war, stronger than fear. He entered my world when no one else would. And in the end, we became the world. The explorer lowered her scanner. I've heard stories, but about this moon. How no one returns from it. How it once tried to kill anything that landed. It was broken, Rylan said. Just like me. Just like Aylin. Now, it's healed. And you're safe, Aylin added gently. This place will protect, not harm. The explorer nodded slowly. So, what happens now? The light around them shifted. A map appeared in the air, a star chart. Dots of planets, some with life, some waiting to be reborn. We've learned much, Aylin said, and we've stored it. Here, knowledge, peace, technology. It's time to share it again. Rylan looked at the explorer. If you are kind, if your people are ready, we will guide them, she smiled. You're offering your help to the galaxy? Aylin nodded. With care, with choice, one visitor at a time. The explorer stepped forward, eyes wide. You gave up everything. Rylan looked at Aylin, his hand gently tightening around hers. Not everything, he said. We still have each other. The core pulsed softly again. The explorer turned to leave, but stopped and glanced back. If I tell others about this place, will they believe me? Aylin smiled. They don't need to believe. They only need to feel. And one day, they'll come. As the explorer walked back to her ship, the moon felt alive under her feet, the air warmer, the storm long gone. She looked back once more. The cave behind her whispered gently, Come inside, and never be alone again.